Hello, guys. Welcome to another review of WWE program, and this is the 21st of March, 2026, the Saturday. I'm going to be reviewing all three shows from this week. Main talking points from it. I've kind of been searching for the ideal format that I want to do with these. Some shows I've done full reviews of. Other times I've just kind of referenced, Monday Night Raw, blah, blah, blah happened when I do a full review of SmackDown. I think I'll kind of mostly settle on this, where I do every week talk about like just the major talk points. I'm doing it off memory, so I may forget some things here and there. At the end of the day, if there's anything I've forgotten, then it wasn't notable enough to be talked about, which is kind of wrong. But I'll try and remember everything, so that I can bury what I didn't like, and praise what I did like. Because I think on the whole this week, it was a step in the right direction. I enjoyed all three shows, actually. I mean, SmackDown was the weakest of the three, I think. When typically this year it's been the best of the three. But yeah, overall I think was pretty good. Before I hop in, I don't talk about non-WWE matters often. If there's big enough news or notable enough news, I will touch upon it in the wider wrestling world. For example, if I was doing reviews at the time when the Roger Jackson incident occurred, you bet your fucking bottom dollar I'd have spoken on that and been very critical. Fuck this guy. He's a fucking maniac. Should be in jail if he's not already. Never really heard any follow-up news on that. I just wanted to segue in that behalf and just say very, very quickly. First of all, fuck Ricochet for his tweets this week, making fun of a woman who had MS. I mean, bro, like, I get you're a heel, and some people have this heel online persona to keep it going to social media. But there's being a heel, man. There's just being a fucking asshole, an absolute cunt. And this guy is a cunt. This guy is obsessed. No matter how much he says, he's not bothered. He's glad to be out of WWE. Man, this motherfucker is bitter. Holy shit. And unfortunately, then it rises to counter trolls sending death threats to Samantha Irvin and his wife. Ricochet, the thing he never seems to realise is he comes out and says all this shit and he's just an asshole online, where he will overstep the mark. Excuse me, and I'm a person who grew up watching old school eras where heels were heels, man. They're actually like good at it. And it's me saying this. There's been, you know, heel for the sake of it and then just letting the real persona shine through. And I feel like this is his real persona sometimes. He says he does it because the IWC is toxic. Well, if you're fighting fire with fire, it's all well and good. You're in a public figure, mate. You're a multimillionaire. You're smoking hot wife. You're not got better things to do. For me. Just sit on social media saying to people, I'm glad you've got MS. Are you fucking for real? So fuck that guy. Also, fuck Ronda Rousey. Another AEW news point from this week after Revolution. Didn't watch it. I don't watch AEW. I'm not one of these tribal fans who are going to like completely dismiss it and shit on AEW for the sake of it. I just talk about news stories when it matters. And Ronda Rousey returning to wrestling is a bad thing for wrestling. It didn't matter what company she'd been coming back to. She appeared at Revolution, confronted Tony Storm after a match against Marina Shafir. Marina Shafir, of course, and Ronda Rousey are good friends IRL. And Tony Storm apparently wanted none of it. I don't know what actually happened. I think she's just injured, to be fair, but apparently she's out for the rest of 2026. So that's obviously been shit canned now, whatever angle they were going to do. I had rumours they were going to talk about, they were saying, they knew she was injured, she was going to go, why run it then? I don't buy that. Maybe Tony just thought, fuck this, I don't want any part of Ronda Rousey. And good on her. Ronda Rousey has repeatedly come out over the years and shit on the wrestling business, shit on the fans, said it's fake, it's this, it's that. Yes, we know. It doesn't fucking detract from what these people do. She came in with this, shit don't stink, I'm better than all these people because I'm a legit fighter. Well, it's a fucking tough business, man. It's harder being a wrestler than a fucking UFC fighter or boxer. Go figure. it's choreographed, but you're still taking the bump. You've still got to go the extra mile and stuff. Ronda never understood, I think. Even as recently as 6 months ago, she made comments about Alexa Bliss. She went over Alexa Bliss in 4 minutes to win the world championship, her first world championship in her debut year. They were doing. They really strapped the rocket on it, and they still to this day, she is not appreciative. She's not thankful to Alexa for putting her over. She took the attitude of, well, but I'm Ronda Rousey, the baddest woman on the planet. I was an MMA fighter. Why am I fighting this 5 foot tall blonde? That's not the attitude you have. She was the champion, so if you're going to win the belt, you have to go through it. She was the champion because she was the most overwon in the company at the time. She still is probably top three behind only Rhea and Io, I'd say. And she's not had a single title in 8 years. She was the biggest merch seller. Ronda literally mentioned that during her disrespectful comments. Well, you answered your own question, Ronda. That's why she was in that spot. That's why you're taking her on, because she's over. She draws. That's what wrestling's about. She's never understood this. She had a load of run-ins with Becky Lynch on Twitter around the time where she was they're kind of trying to do shoot thing, but she always had thin skin, Ronda. Maybe I think Alexa and Becky, especially over the years, have gotten it extra bad because they just humiliate one after another, especially in promos. You know, two of the best talkers in the women's division, possibly of all time, at least certainly at that time. They both just humiliated her on a regular. I remember Alexa cutting the promo saying, "You overrated, overhyped rookie." Ronda looked like she was about to legit cry. And then Becky would just destroy her on social media. And Becky was the heel, and she was getting cheered ahead of. I mean, they were both heels, Alexa and Becky. And they were getting cheered ahead of Ronda. So go figure. Wait, was Becky heel? I think she was supposed to be. She just got extra over. As you know, this was during the man wave. Ronda's first run wasn't as egregious, besides stuff like that. She just never really improved. She was good if she could have a choreographed match, like the very first one with Kurt Angle against other veterans like Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. But she never improved at all. She could never talk. Pull his face. Oh god, it was like a pouting child. Skull. Like, it was the only fuck Ronda Rousey. I cannot believe, and all the sickos now are probably going to come out and because, like I said, I don't get into the tribal shit, but my god, man, some of their fans are bad. WWE's are as well, but they're obsessed, and they would have shit over Ronda in the past, and rightly so. No one wants to see Ronda back in the business if she doesn't respect it. She's open about, someone like Brock Lesnar. He's open about I come in just for the money. Not really a big fan of wrestling, but he does respect the business when he's there, and he knows and he understands. And we're getting into this soon because my favorite part of this week, favorite part of all year, involved Brock Lesnar. So I'll give him his stripes today. Shayna Baszler came from MMA. She understood the business. Shayna is another one who's a good friend of Ronda. I would never bracket them together. I know they were tag team champs during Ronda's second run, which is fucking god awful. I have respect for Shayna Baszler. I have respect for Ken Shamrock. I have respect for Dan Severn. I have respect for Lola Vice, Kurt Angle, who all came in from, legit fighter backgrounds and understood the business. Kurt Angle admitted the very first time he was courted after he won the Olympic gold medal in '96, of course. ECW courted him. WWE then made him an offer a year or two later, and he refused it. He wanted to go undefeated. He never wanted to lose. And then he just kept watching it, kept watching the product get hot, and then finally was like, oh shit, made a mistake. Approached WWE, got a new deal, lesser one. Good on Vince for that, to be fair. It's like, well, no, you rejected me before, fuck that. But Kurt Angle went on to be one of the all-time greats. The wrestling machine. Fucking love him. One of my favourite wrestlers of all time. Completely elite at both an amateur and professional level. He understood, Ronda just never did. So fuck Ronda Rousey. Fuck AEW for bringing her in. And we'll see what happens there. Moving on. Back to WWE matters. Like I said, Brock was part of my favorite part of this week. To begin Monday Night Raw, there were two occasions where I was like, "Oh god, I'm not going to enjoy this segment. I'm going to shit on this. Like, it's going to be bad." The first thing we saw, we're in San Antonio, Texas, by the way, which is a good crowd, I thought. The first thing we saw were the masked men. Seth Rollins and his, they're like a fucking dance troupe. So many of them. There's about fucking 15 of them are all just dancing about fucking like musical chairs without the chairs. They're all just fucking moseying on about. And then Seth Rollins appears. One of them's left in the ring. He takes his mask off. He finally spoke. First time he's really spoken, I think, since he came back. And I mean, we knew what it was going to say. It was still good though. Seth's great. Great to see him back. We have. I've missed him. He said he founded the vision and he's going to destroy it. I founded the vision. I'm the revolution. There's a fucking voice he does. I can't do it. His nasally voice, but I started the vision. I'm going to win. That's what he says. He started bragging about taking up Paul Heyman, the steel chair. Heyman came out. He looked like shit. Whatever he did, whatever the makeup team did, or I don't know, maybe he just stayed up all night, or he got hammered, or whatever the fuck. Whatever he did, he looked the part. He looked really haggard. He looked really downtrodden. He was unshaven. He had like a 5 o'clock shadow. He had bags under his eyes. His eyes were like yellowy. He had blood on him, I think, or like vestiges of blood. Whereas in the first half of that, I was kind of describing myself. Bags under my eyes. Sign me up, WWE. I'll take a chair shot off Seth Rollins and then come out, look all beat up. Yeah, he comes out. Heyman, this is. He says, "You effed with me, so I'm gonna F with you." FAFO. FAFO. FAF5. I knew after the first FAFO, this is where it's going to go. And I'm thinking, for the second time, the first time when I saw the Masked Man, it was facepalm. Second time, yeah, Lesnar's music goes facepalm. Because I'm thinking, oh, fucking hell. They're going to run Rollins versus Lesnar at Mania again. Match we've seen how many fucking times over the years. Yes, it does kind of make sense. Heyman, division's basically fucking dwindling. Breaker would be the ideal opponent for Rollins. Who knows whether he's going to be back? The next best candidate will be Reed. He's injured, probably WrestleMania. Fortunate. And then Theory and Paul are left, who weren't even part of the fucking vision when Rollins created it. Rollins' whole angle of, I created them, I don't care. He said this, to be fair. It was like, I don't care whether it's just been people who've been basically added on after I was betrayed. Anyone who stands alongside Paul Heyman is a target. There's a mark on your back, and I'm coming for you. So, of course, that bites Lesnar now. And I'm thinking, oh, fuck me, it's going to be this match. Lesnar takes out all the masked men, so hopefully that's the last we've seen of that. I'm sure it will be now. And then, I mean, fucking hell, like, I just want to say, to be fair, I say I'll give Brock his stripes this week. This motherfucker was careless with them. Brock's a big guy. Talk about another legit fighter. I didn't list him off before because he was already in WWE before he moved over. But Brock was an NCAA champion of wrestling before he moved to pro wrestling, and he's always got it. He's always been about business and understood business. But man, he did not give a shit about these jobbers, whoever the fuck were under the mask. Maybe it was people from Seth Rollins' school. If that's the case, Seth didn't really look like he gave a fuck. He's just watching in the ring as Brock lays waste to all these people. One point, he suplexed everyone. He suplexed one guy onto the steel steps. It looked like he landed like really hard in the back. And then another guy close to a barricade. It wasn't a timekeeper barricade for once. Normally WWE has a fucking fetish about sending someone through that every week. No matter who, man or woman. Someone has to go through it. That wasn't that. But this guy the barricade was like dead close. It was like as close to this fucking wall is to me. And he just grabs him. The guy like drops down, lands like pretty close to his neck. I know. So yeah, Brock, zero fucks given. He then gets in the ring, clears out a few more, F5 to the last one, and he comes face to face with Rollins. Then the lights go out. Then the music plays, the green lights flash, and the music stops for a sec, the smoke appears, and Obafemi's silhouette is there. And thank fuck, man. Oh, I popped. I was fucking loving it. Let's go, man. They finally listened. Brock Lesnar wastes an appearance. You have a marquee attraction like Lesnar, who is still probably the most famous name in the entire roster. Some deluded people will be like, oh, Roman Reigns and Rhea Ripley are very mainstream. No, they're not, bro. They are in wrestling circles, but Brock Lesnar, now John Cena's retired. And, when The Rock's not there, Brock Lesnar is the name that if you go to walk down a random fucking street in the world, any country, and ask 100 people, he would be the one they would have heard of most. So he's still got that name recognition. The fact they wasted one of his fucking appearances by having him, I ranted about that enough. Him come out and ask for the challenge and all this shit. No one responded, even though we'd seen Obafemi the fucking segment before, right before when he was in the build. So we look like a bitch for not responding. But I think I said it at the time, and I think I'm spot on. I think they used it as a soundboard because it's so fucking tone deaf. I don't know how they didn't know people wanted Lesnar and Femi anyway, especially after the Rumble. They're wise enough to do a stare off between them. I feel like maybe they always had intentions to do that later on in the year. Or, SummerSlam. Maybe this is going to be Lesnar's last match at SummerSlam this year. It is in Minneapolis. And John Cena seemed to imply in his interview with Cody Rhodes after he retired that Lesnar is closing out his career in SummerSlam. Either way, they finally did the right thing. They'd come out here. I love his entrance as well. He never used to do this in NXT. He's been doing it in the main roster since come in. He's added something to it. He walks down, he just talks shit. He goes, you die tonight. I don't care who you are. Even something as simple as that. Lesnar, I said, give him his props. But I have to give context to this first. Another reason why a lot of people were suddenly debating whether this match was going to happen. One of the other suggestions was that Lesnar would take on LA Knight, which again, you can kind of make sense of. Knight, together with Cody Rhodes, eliminated Lesnar from the Rumble. Knight has feuded with Vision since the fucking dawn of time. This motherfucker's. I cannot believe how long he's been feuding. Whatever. You could see WWE being stupid enough to do this. Oba was the right choice, though. So other reports came out. There's so many fucking reports under their cheats that were seeming to throw water on the flames, really, and they kind of like doused them. They were saying Lesnar and Heyman together went to Grave and said they don't want to put over Obafemi. I didn't believe that shit for a second, man. There's one thing about Brock. Yeah, he's been a marquee star, 10 times young, but he's never really been afraid to put someone over or reluctant to if he's fine with it, if he sees something in them. Did it with Cody Rhodes. Did it with Bobby Lashley. Yeah, he did it with fucking Omos. He's always been about business. He doesn't care. As long as he gets paid, he's happy enough. But he went the extra mile here for Oba. I love that. I like to think he saw something in Oba. The parallels between Oba and certainly how she book him and Lesnar himself, who in 2002 had the greatest rookie year of all. Strongly Kurt Angle, I would say, that I've ever seen WWE. Ronda herself, who I mentioned before, you could maybe argue that. But I think that was all kind of manufactured, but whatever. In terms of just, what they accomplished in their debut year, it's kind of crazy what Brock did. Oba is certainly capable of that. Certainly. And I think having him versus Lesnar is big, but It's the extra things. Lesnar looked really fearful. He's kind of looking around at the crowd, a bit like taken aback. You know, the crowd are playing their parts well. San Antonio are great. They're doing the over, ooh, over, over. They're doing the war chant for the ruler as he strolls down to the ring. He's dancing down to the ring. He's just fucking great, man. Over is so good. The aura of this man, it is the guy. He is the man of the next 20 years. And Brock, I feel like only then, truly in the moment, realised it. And he's looking kind of fearful. Never really seen Brock Lesnar look so intimidated as Oba comes down to the ring. He steps up to the rope, he steps on through. There's one camera shot very briefly as well, which I really liked, which just cut to Rollins, who at this point just stood in the turnbuckle, kind of arms folded, like he hasn't got a care in the world. He's just loving it, and he's smiling away, watching Over come in, and Brock kind of look a bit too. I thought that was great. Speaking of Rollins, as Lesnar and Femi are kind of staring each other down, Brock gets a bit more serious, kind of laughing a bit, like, "Oh, what are you going to do?" Kind of steps towards Over. Once Over's been in the ring, kind of calms down a bit. Then Rollins begins approaching from the corner. And there's enough of a distraction to distract Brock. He then rolls out of the ring. Brock turns, bam, into a fall from grace from over Femi. Huge pop. Michael Cole and Corey Graves, got to say as well, everyone involved in this did great. Everyone. Heyman at ringside, you can see his reaction as well. He's like, what the fuck? He's adding to the moment. Michael Cole's call. He's just going, oh, holy shit, Oba's got Brock, Oba's got Brock, fall from grace. Corey Graves, oh, I got Cole. It felt like a Mania worthy segment, a Mania build. Finally. How long have we been asking? Besides the Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton stuff, and besides the first two, especially the first face off between CM Punk and Roman Reigns, because believe me, we're going to get to the third face off later on. Fuck me, that was bad. Besides that, this was the best thing. I very rarely these days watch anything back with WWE because there's not much worth watching back. But when you find yourself coming back and watching it, and I've watched this whole thing back about 4 times since then, that's when you know it's in some magic. That's when you know it's in some great segment. It was the exact same with the Rollins, the Punk and Roman face-off. First segment they did, especially, was cinema, chef's kiss. This was fucking great, man. Over pops, Brock's down. It was a great looking fall from Grace as well. Brock sold it well. He stayed down. And then the cherry on top. Ovis kind of celebrating. He's fucking popped off. He's stood over him. Lesnar, he's pointing at the Mania sign. Lesnar, you can see him kind of lift his head up a bit. And he's going, step on me. Over puts his foot on Lesnar. Lesnar's holding the foot as if it's pinning him down. He can't get up. Over's then still pointing at Mania, talking his shit. And you knew it was on. Then Brock rolls out. Is looking like, oh, what the fuck just happened? Jesus Christ. And you could see there's a close up camera on Oba. You could see tears going down his cheeks. And, again, something that just added to it, I think. I have a lot of extra investment in Oba because I watched NXT. I watched this man come through. He's great. And I still think he should have been the one to retire John Cena, honestly. But whatever. We'll come to Gunther later. I don't know what's happening there. But I am extra happy for Obi. He's someone at WWE. If they fuck this up, if they fuck this man, I've lost all hope. He could be one of the all-time greats. Legit. He has everything. And you could see how much this moment meant to him. Like, the tears in his eyes, his gratitude towards Brock, I'm sure he has. But this is 1 week. We'll see what happens in subsequent weeks. I'm sure Brock's going to get his licks in. A lot of people suddenly were like, oh, well, Brock just got dropped, so he's probably going to win at Mania, and then Obi's better. That's not how it works, man. I don't think Obi even necessarily has to win. He should win. He definitely should win. I hope he wins. I expect he will win. But it always depends on how the match plays out as well. I'm expecting this to be like a 8 to 10 minute Barnstormer, big move after big move from each man. Lot of near falls. Both do at least two finishes on each other while we're kicking out. And then Oba wins Mania. I think that's how it should go. But good on them for making that match now. It's about fucking time. You got to get a move on. It isn't a month's time. It's getting closer now, Mania. And we have time to actually develop a story. I was fucking concerned they were going to do Lesnar's open challenge every week, and some fucking jobber's going to come out every week, and Lesnar's just going to ragdoll them around like he did with the Masked Man. Instead, no. I was also concerned that they were going to do him instead. So, I mean, that was, again, just an extra great touch to this. The way they did it, they didn't just have Lesnar come out in the middle of the show and then Obo responds. They did that swerve. The swerve, bro. Russo would have been proud. They made you, they knew, I think. I mean, how could you not know? Everyone wants Oba and Brock. But they knew a lot of people were giving Rollins Lesnar as like a plan B, an alternative option. And they made you think they were going to go with that. And also, I mean, it made sense Lesnar coming out to confront Rollins, especially after what Rollins had just said. If you're with Paul Heyman, you're against me, and you're marked. I'm coming for you. It was great, man. This was the best segment of the year so far. This was arguably my favorite Raw segment since I started watching it again, start last year. But I fucking loved it. Unfortunately, after that, the show kind of went downhill. I don't remember much else of what happened, honestly. It was that on Raw. I think we had the Americano Vortex continued, man. Like, I don't hate it. It's just, it's Groundhog Day every week. It's Chad Gable versus one of them. It's obviously going to culminate in Mania. They're going to do a mask match. Gable will lose, I think. I don't think they take the mask off Kaiser now, which is ironic because he took up the mantle in Gable's absence. But Kaiser's too over in AAA. They fucking love him down there. South of the border. Now Mexico way. I don't think Gable needs the mask so much. Also, the added thing of, it gives Dunn and Bates something to do while Kaiser is El Grande Americano. And he goes down to NXT and works with them and shit. He was on NXT this week. This man is busy, man. I think he worked Saturday AAA, then Monday Night Raw, then Tuesday NXT. Ludwig Kaiser's great. Like, give him a props. So is Gable. But at the end of the day, no matter whether I like them both, I don't want to see the same match every fucking week since the Royal Rumble. It basically has been about 1 week, I think, with Danhausen, Curse, and Gable. Danhausen, who's getting more and more over. Fair play to this dude. He appears on both shows as well. They just fucking bring him in. I don't know whether the "you are cursed" thing will get old, maybe. But I think he has enough humour about him in the other spots to kind of make it work. But we need more of them, apparently. If cursing them every odd week is going to stop this fucking matchup from happening every week, then I'm all for it. Danhausen, keep him there. God, WWE is just immune to telling stories. They can't cut promos on each other or anything like that. No, it's just every week we're gonna have a match, and one of them's gonna get close to ripping off the mask of the other, and then something happens, and GG. We'll try again next week. And it's only going to succeed at Mania, apparently. Fuck me. What are we doing, man? Oh. Elsewhere in Raw, we had LA Knight and the Usos. Somebody don't remember. Roman turned up, of course. He did a segment where they're kind of talking like it's the fucking bloodline again. The Usos. Are they face? Are they heel? Who the fuck even knows? I think they're all officially supposed to be face, but they were all very heelish this week. Knight confronted them both afterwards, and he's basically like, why the fuck are you listening to Roman still in 2026? How many times did he just bitch slap the both of you to get in line? How many times did you turn on him in 1 week and then you were fine with him the next, and so on? He's saying, listen, we're cool because we are united. We united against the Vision, LA Knight says. Tell me about LA Knight. Like, we don't know. 6, 7 months in a row, every fucking Raw main event seemed to be the Vision versus a conglomeration of LA Knight or CM Punk or Jey Uso or Jim Uso. All the fucking time. Maybe once every few months you'd have Roman turn up. Fucking hell. So, yeah, he says this, and they're like, we know, bro, unfortunately. But then he says, well, listen, if the bloodline comes back, we can't be on the same page. Fist bumps Jimmy, or handshakes, whatever the fuck. Jay wouldn't do the same. Jay's just scowling at him. I am starting to fear that Roman Reigns win and bring back the fucking bloodline. I'm starting to fear it. Because we know when ticket sales are bad and stuff, Triple H panics. TKO too fucking deluded, too greedy, too unfamiliar with wrestling, all I care about and look at is the money, the numbers. That they don't realise the reason that it's failing to sell tickets is because A, they ran it in Vegas again. B, the ticket prices are fucking insane. C, the whole model of WWE these days drives away fans. The endless ads, the corporate nature of it, the fact they don't do house shows anymore. So it's resulted in a lot more injuries from wrestlers because they're wrestling fucking 10 minutes every 2 weeks. You can only practice so much, man. Match sharpness is a thing. You've seen it in football. Same this year, my team, Liverpool. Alexander Isak didn't have any kind of preseason or anything like that because there was a big transfer uh, storm with Newcastle. Eventually, they signed him. They tried to bed him in slowly, giving him match time here or there. He ended up getting injured, break his leg. Can happen to anyone, I guess, but just injuries and stuff, match sharpness, it is a thing. They don't realise this. The ticket prices are insane. WWE are not selling tickets, so they'll probably panic and go back to the bubble. I don't care for it. A, we do not need a fucking part-time champ. B, how old are these guys now? Fucking hell. The Usos are in the 40s. Robinson is 40s. Are we going to start another faction or, resurrect it? The time is coming to make new stars, man. They are there. They're right there waiting to be tapped into. Oba, what does he do after Mania? I think it'd be a slow build for him. I could maybe see him going more towards a mid-card championship, wherever show he lands on. I'm assuming he's on Raw now. Who knows? Who knows? Bron Breakker, he's another one. You could easily build the company around. Dominic Mysterio, another one. Chuck Williams, Javon Evans. They're there. They're mellow. I don't know about this Punk and Roman stuff, man. The first segment was great. I guess we'll just get right into it. I'm not going to do this like chronological order or something. I'll just talk about like the big talking points of this week. And Roman vs Punk, of course, is the big main event coming out of Raw. I don't think this segment was great this week. It wasn't awful. It just didn't feel like it fit, like it belonged at all. Especially after 2 weeks ago when Punk made the comment about Roman Reigns' father. Roman, I was expecting would come in this show all hot and kind of brawl with Punk, take him out, at least hit him. It was kind of the opposite. He came in like he looked like he didn't give a single fuck. Maybe he doesn't because he's a part timer now. He knows he's a legend. He knows he's got the legacy there. Anything else is just kind of a bonus now. He's a made man. But he come in, he just didn't look like he gave a shit. Right from the backstage segment, talking with the Usos, and then the way he came out, he didn't really say much of anything. To be fair, neither did Punk. I feel like this week they just didn't really know what to say or where to go. And I'm watching it, I'm like, fuck, man, this can't be the case. You've got two good talkers. Roman became that eventually. He never was in many years. But he is a good talker these days. And I'm like, why do I get the feeling they've exhausted all the material in the first two appearances. But maybe they are looking at the calendar like, shit, got another month for this. You know, we'll try and pace it a bit. All the comments for CM Punk to get tilted over as well. This man brought up his wife before that. He's brought up Punk's past in AEW and WWE. He said, "Yeah, Phil, you're old," and then Punk laid him on. What? A 41-year-old called a 48-year-old old. They punched him all. This is the Mania Night 2 main event. Fuck are we doing, man? I didn't hate it. There's not a one-off week. It happens. It happens. I'm not exactly going to hate the match. I'm still really excited for the match. I do think it should be Night 2 Mania main event still. I'd have been Candy. I'd have been Randy and Cody have done enough yet to change your mind there, but I think they've got time, and I think they're capable of doing it for sure. They at least, well, it's not like Punk and Roman don't have a history, but Randy and Cody have way more of one. But right now, I'm kind of more interested in the SmackDown side of things, actually, which is kind of wild if you'd have said that a month ago. But yeah, off week, man, it happens. One week where it was finally better, finally something. Last week was Liv vs Stephanie. But this week, Liv began her promo by talking about she did a taped vignette. She was talking about Finn Balor. Last week, I was full of praise for this. The whole segment, everyone involved, Liv, the Judgment Day, Dom, Finn Balor. The breakdown of that happened after many years. This was better. Liv was talking like her general gist was, yeah, I've been plotting this for a long time to get rid of Dom from the Judgment Day. I'm the real leader, basically. Like, fuck him. Daddy Dom is better than him, and Finn held down JD. She said at one point a thing. She mentioned how Finn negatively impacted all of them. Did not even mention Roxanne. Maybe they're going to try and get a week or two worth of segments of, oh, what side will Roxanne choose when she comes back, and then she'll turn on Finn or whatever. Fuck. I can see them doing that. That's why they're not mentioning her. Hopefully Roxanne's back soon. But yeah, it's an interesting one, this, because she's not wrong for sure. You could see the whole time they've teased tension between them, and not even so much teased it, straight up shown tension between them. So I can believe that Liv is happy, thumbs out, the Judgment Day. But where I don't really see how this fits is she basically was talking about like how, this was my direct decline. No, it fucking wasn't. Finn basically got himself kicked out of the Judgment Day. CM Punk, because he's saying in face. CM Punk had, of course, had the match with him, and the whole angle there going into Elimination Chamber was kind of down. Can Finn wake up, realize the greatness that he had as when he was a solo, what he's done in his career? Why does he need Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor and the rest of the judge and JD McDonough, sorry, and the rest of the Judgment Day to help him win matches and stuff? So he slowly got to that point, the thing with Dom, where he cost him the title, and he was kicked out. Liv was just kind of more an afterthought in the whole actual execution of this lead. So they tied it back to it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. But I think Liv spoke really well. I think I've preferred more the solo vignette shit she's done recently, rather than I really didn't actually, and I love it. I didn't like her work over the last couple of months since she came back. I didn't think it merited winning the Rumble. I have no problem with her winning the Rumble in terms of her career deserved it, sure. Especially after how many times she was runner up in the Rumble or Chamber or something. I have no issue with Liv being at the top. I thought a lot of her promo work was the character work, etc., wasn't great after she came back. But it's starting to get there again. She is basically I view her as the leader of Judgment Day now. Question is, what will happen after Mania? Finn Balor wasn't at the show that week. Kind of makes sense. The exact same as Cody Rhodes. He got beat down last week. Have a week off. Sell the injury or sell the beating. I mean, they didn't beat him that viciously, to be fair. Whatever, he wasn't there. We didn't even hear from Balor, I think. I'm sure we will this week. But that was it. I mean, was Dominic there this week? I don't think so. Penta defended against Dragon Lee, actually. This was the first match of the night, I think. So when I talk about, the best thing about the show is the start, the opening segment. No, the first match was great as well. Because, man, this went about 10, 15 minutes. That's all you need to give these guys. Absolutely spectacular match. Great. How great it is that we have Penta as IC champ. Don't get me wrong, I love Dom. His second reign was a disaster, really. Let's face it. He's lost his first defense. But I'm not going to shit on him for that because he got injured. A lot of people are comparing it to Jade's title. Oh, Jade went 100 days with no title defense. No one was shitting her. What about Dom? He's gone 70 days. Yeah, he was injured for 50 days, but you fucking idiots. Dumbasses. But Dom's first reign was great. Dom as IC champion was fine. But Penta, man. Oh, the IC champion was the work. It's always been the workman's belt. The workhorse belt. This was fucking great. It really was. I could watch these two wrestle all day, every day. Dragon Lee was kind of a little lost in the shuffle for Raw a lot of the time until late last year when he teamed up with AJ Styles to win the Tag Team Championship. I'm glad they're using him more. He had the thing with Gunther. Oh, God, we'll get to Gunther. But yeah, I'm so eager to get to Gunther now. I kind of forgot what I was going to say there. We're going to speculate on what happens with this belt at Mania. Penta defended it. I always assumed the IC belt was going to stay on Dom until the Balor turn, and they'll wrestle over that. I guess it didn't need the IC championship, and I'm happy if it's gone up from Dom and to anyone. It's Penta. I just worry he's going to go through all his opponents really quickly, and maybe it's not even going to get in the main card. Surely it has to be in the main card. I don't even care if they bring back in everyone he beats over the next few weeks, and do it for a multi-match. Have them against Dragon Lee. So even if they brought someone like LA Knight into this, so I don't really see where LA Knight's going to go. I think Braun Breaker will be back in time for Rollins. If not, then the alternative is maybe Rollins and Knight against Paul and Theory. But yeah, I don't know, maybe ring in LA Knight and something. Once Gable's through the Americano feud, you could have him versus Penta. How much that would be? Penta versus Rusev. They worked really well together when they were feuding with Dom in Autumn. Sheamus, when he's back, Sheamus versus Penta. Fuck, sign me up, bro. I'd love that. Have Ray Phoenix come out one time. Imagine Phoenix versus Penta. The Lucha Brothers. That would be sick for that as well, man. We'll see where it's going. No feud's being set up. Nothing's really been teased, as far as I recall. But when I pay respect to both of them, that was easily the match of the night on Monday. The match of the week as well, I think. Although Mello and Ilya also had a banger this week. I decided to talk about Gunther. I'm going to tie in Io Sky here as well. So I guess we'll talk first about. It's not much to talk about, honestly. Vaquer took on Raquel again. I haven't minded the previous matches. I like Raquel a lot. I think she's improved a lot. And ever since she took Kevin Nash's advice, great advice, and she took it. Vaquer, we know, is a spectacular wrestler. I think her entrance music, I still don't get why they changed. I said at the time I could maybe see it growing on me a little, but I still prefer her old one. It still plays sometimes, and I'm for a second or two, I'm like, who the fuck's this? Oh, I see the red lights. Okay, yeah, that's right. They def rebelled her. She comes out. it was a bit of a pedestrian match. I feel like they book her a bit weak sometimes. So again, it's Raquel. They're really high in Raquel. You can tell. She will win a world championship in her career. Whatever happens this year, I feel like it probably will. I think Liv will win at Mania, and I think Raquel will end up dethroning her. But she's still kind of bullying the champ a little in this match. And Io made to look like a bitch. Jesus Christ. Because Liv comes out, Liv is ringside, of course. Uh, Io comes out, attacks Liv. Raquel had attacked Io the week before in that IC Championship #1 contender match. So they cost Io. So Io is chasing her. She comes out to help and then ends up getting cleared out by Raquel and gets thrown over the fucking commentary desk. Oh, man. This is what we're doing with Io Sky, man. A feud with, what, a month still with Raquel. She hasn't really had much of a past with. I don't really get it, man. I feel like moving Rhea to face Jade was such a mistake. It was such a mistake. They should have just done Charlotte versus Alexa for the SmackDown Championship. Fuck Jade. I would email her in a call. They should have done Rhea versus Io. Or Rhea and Io together in tag team thing. I mean, I guess it's a waste using them there. So preferably Rhea versus Io. To run face versus face, run the story. Rhea really needs to beat Io. The same one they did at Evolution. Let them go out and have the match of the weekend. Probably the match of the year. Because that's what they would do. By no means a disrespect to Raquel. But I'm going through option and option and option and option and fucking option each time of what is Io Sky going to do at Mania? The best wrestler, women's wrestler in the world. Possibly just the best wrestler in the world. Honestly, she is that good. You've gone from last year, triple threat. She went in as champ. She won it. Match of the year. Or one of them, at least. To she's lost a tag team partner. She lost the IC Championship contender match. And now she's feuding against Raquel, who, like I said, they don't really have much of a history. The backup alternatives that I think everyone was suddenly hoping for in the last few weeks was Asuka. They do have that history you could tap into. You could throw Kyrie in the middle, maybe even make it a triple threat if you really wanted. I didn't think so. I think even something like Kyrie, special guest ref, I would prefer us. But I think that would work. But you know what I'm saying. The story could be, or which side is Kyrie going to go with? She's on Asuka's officially, but Asuka continually cheats her like shit. Will Kyrie finally snap? Could it be a Linda McMahon WrestleMania 17 kind of moment? Kyrie just stands up. Yeah, I was expecting that. It looks like the Kabuki Warriors, because they had a segment later on the night with Bailey and Lyra. It looks like both those teams are going to go into tag team scene for Mania, or at least going to be fighting to try and qualify for it. And it will be Io versus Raquel. Raquel. That's making me think as well that maybe Roxanna's not going to be cleared for Mania, which is really unfortunate, man. You know, she was wrestling main event, like big main roster matches by this point last year. Of course, she took on she was in the Elimination Chamber. She was runner up in the Royal Rumble, but she wasn't in Mania. So this would have been her first Mania, and it's a shame if she misses out for sure. But yeah, I don't really see them picking this up if not, because the alternative I thought would have been to put Raquel and Roxanne in the tag match itself. I need to get comfortable here. Cramp in my leg. What else? SmackDown. Speaking of the IC Championship, AJ Lee versus Bailey. Bailey won that qualification match last week. This was a right match to book, I think. You have a trusted veteran. You know, if you want to guarantee a good match, who are you going to send out there on the Raw roster? Bailey and Becky. And that's who they've fed it to AJ first. She did go over again. Her first matches in over a decade. Man, she has not lost a step. AJ Lee. There's been some criticism of her performances in at WrestlePalooza and in War Games. I never really understood why. Yeah, this woman still got it. Even then, I thought she did well. But obviously, there's always going to be question marks when someone comes back after so long out. It'll be the same with the Bella Twins. And trust me, we'll get to them. Fucking hell. Um, when you've been out that long, and especially it is just so different. Everyone says it, but it's so true. The level now of the women's division WWE is so much higher than the men. Um, sorry, it's so much. I mean, it's higher than the men actually. They carry it, but it's so much higher than the women of AJ's era, of Brian, Nikki's era. AJ was always a great wrestler, though. Just knock out of place. This was a really good match, I thought. Again, it wasn't given a huge amount of time. And I think everyone expected AJ to defend. Bailey, I mean, at least she was in the match. Her booking over the last year and a half or so has just been fucking pitiful. For the talent that she still has. She's not even 40 yet. She could still do a lot. She's kind of more the person who will put you over, mentor kind of role for Lyra nowadays. It's what it is. But yeah, time reminder of how great Bailey is. AJ has gone through 2 of the 3 remaining horsewomen WWE right now. Will she take on Charlotte Flair one day? Off the brands. I don't think so, but I don't know. Maybe this year. We'll see. Who next for AJ? I'm assuming she's going to be on the Mania card. Yeah, surely they'll put her on there. Then again, I assumed she was going to be in the Rumble. She wasn't. If she is, I mean, oh, it'll be Becky, of course. Yeah, let's not forget. Becky attacked her after the match. They had a brawl. Becky threw her into the screen. And yeah, I think that's going to be solid. They had a good match. Lost Chamber, I thought, but they need to do better on the promos. The promo battles, 2 of the best talkers in the women's division has ever seen. For whatever reason, it didn't quite click. So interested to see what happens in the coming weeks with that. I would probably put a stipulation on this match, but I'm sure the main story will be Jessica Cole probably refereeing it again. For Becky goes out of her way to make sure that doesn't happen. Bailey and Lyra, as I said, will probably go into this big tag match. I don't mind that. We'll talk about that more when I get to SmackDown because the tag team championship ended on SmackDown. I skated over a couple of times. Good there. I wanted to tie it in with Io because I was talking about how it's kind of baffling that Io, the best female wrestler in the world, had no real direction for Mania going into this week. We at least got a better idea of Io's direction after this week. Bro, Gunther, what is he? Where is he? For one thing, 3 weeks in a row he's not appeared. What is he doing at Mania? I think we've seriously got nothing for him. Man who retired, John Cena, and AJ Styles, back-to-back months. They have nothing for him. But rumor has it they may be waiting on Rey Mysterio, but Rey got injured. They're wondering whether they can get him back in time. You should not have Gunther relying. I still love Rey Mysterio here, by the way, but you should not be relying on Gunther having his program for Mania on whether a 50-plus-year-old dude could recuperate time. That's just ridiculous. Is that maybe they'll do an alternative? If not, they'll just do Gunther vs Dragon Lee or something, which I wouldn't mind. But man, I mean, these weeks are just weeks you could have Gunther on television, and no complaints from me there. Gunther's great. I cannot believe this man has detractors, honestly. Some people are like, oh, he's boring, he's uninspired, he's one of Triple H's favourites. Well, 1 out of 3, yeah, he's one of Triple H's favourites for sure. Triple H loves this dude. But he's great. He always has bangers. There's great promos. He's just got the natural villain look about him. He's like a fucking Bond villain. He's got that smug face that you want to slap. Like, he's great. He's great. And, bro, like, it's honestly concerning that how many of their plans are seemingly centered around, like, oh, well, we'll just hope this person's back in time. Same with Jade and Bianca. I think the only reason Jade was trapped in the first place. So then they're going into fucking Mania. In the end, they just pivoted and were like, oh, we'll just put Rhea next best thing after Bianca. We'll put Rhea in that spot. At the end of the day, bro, if someone gets injured and you're uncertain whether they'll come back, just have backups. Go an alternative way. You have to get to a point where you're like, okay, enough's enough. We can't wait anymore. The show is suffering. Jelly Roll has had more TV time in the last 2 weeks than Gunther has in like the last month, I reckon. It's kind of wild. Oh, God. Wow. Moving past Monday and Raw. Oh, well, I guess. No, there was Randy Orton stuff, but I guess I can tie that in when we get to SmackDown. NXT, I'll go over more briefly. I've already been talking almost an hour. I'm going through 3 shows. Like I said, I'm still trying to struggle how to format this. If I do all 3 shows, I think I should move through them faster. NXT, I thought was good. Um, the main event was the best thing about it. Tatum and Izzy. I'm sure that's the end of their feud now, because Tatum defended it. She's now 3-1 against Izzy. I'm going to plug this in. Battery is dying. The thing I liked about this match most, and it's so simple. Something I was talking about during the chamber, which the women did better in the chamber as well than the men, but still not enough, I think, that you'd expect. Too many times in WWE, especially these days in the modern era, you have a stipulation match like a cage match, like a Hell in a Cell, like the Elimination Chamber, or just anything like that. And they're not using the environment. That is your weapon. You don't need to bring weapons in. Fucking war games. Every person has to come down, especially the women this year. They have to come down with a branded weapon. Here with the fucking trash can, Triple H has a wetry over that spot every year. He insists upon it. So, whatever. We'll leave her. We'll let her. That's her thing. It became her spot. War Games is her match. But every other woman, they'll come out, they've got a chain, they've got a fucking chair, they've got a trash can, whatever the fuck. Ugh. The cage is your weapon. The rare exceptions, I'll be fine with this. Mariah May, Blake Monroe had a match with Jordan Grace. Uh, no Mercy, was it? I think it was No Mercy. It was a weaponized cage match where she comes out. It's kind of funny. It's classic Blake. She has like the pink trash can. All her weapons are pink. Oh shit. Jordan Grace comes out with her weapons, and they went on. But they also did still use the cage to win up there, etc. Izzy and Tatum were just full going at it, flinging each other into the side of the cage, hitting the deck. There was some times where it looked like kind of bad landings. Bro, Izzy's decent, but Tatum is so fucking underrated wrestler. I swear to God, I've never seen this woman have a bad match. Every time I watch her, she stands up. Every time I'm like marveling at some of the shit she does. One of the most underrated. I would definitely put Tatum in like the top 5 for match catalogue over the last year. Her match against Sol Ruka, her match against JC Jane. This. It's just like consistently great. And she's going to have another one. Because Stand and Deliver it looks like it's going to be Blake Monroe versus Tatum. Oh man, we're eating good. I said I've kind of fallen out of NXT a little more this year. One of the main reasons was my 2 favourites in it, Blake and Tatum, who are honestly my 2 favourite women inside company behind Dominic Alexa. They were given a bit of a backseat, really, after they were both champions coming out of Halloween Havoc. That went to shit through, we know, right, various reasons. This is now shaping up to be a good promo. I think it makes sense as well. The woman from hell, Blake, versus Tatum, who's kind of the crazy fucking psycho hot goth chick. who doesn't really give a shit. If you want to get hellacious, she will go just as hard. She comes out with a fucking chainsaw a few months ago. But before we go into that, I guess, respect to Tatum and Izzy, the feud was getting a little stale, a little old. So it was time to wrap it up. But I think it was a good way to wrap it up. I mean, the right person went over. You know, Izzy had their run as well with the North American Women's Championship. Could it have been a little longer? Maybe. I feel like they could have perhaps held off on giving it to her until after this feud. But obviously they had a long term vision. I think the vision was always going to be Tatum versus Blake going into Stand and Deliver. I think Blake was probably supposed to be the champion, but obviously the thing happened with Thea Hale, and then it went from Thea to Izzy. They just pivoted. They were like, oh, okay, well, if it's on Thea, I don't think they gave it back to Blake because at the time there was talk backstage about whether they were going to bring her up to the main roster and just think, oh, fuck it, should we just skip her forward, put her in the Rumble? No, they were like, okay, well, we'll keep her for Stand and Deliver at least. So what we'll do is we'll put the title from Fear onto the Izzy Tatum feud to add a extra bit of spice. Have Tatum end up victorious in that, and then run Tatum versus Blake, but with Tatum champ instead of Blake. This was always going to happen, I think. And I think Tatum was always going to dethrone Blake. She had the championship. I think Tatum will retain again. And then we'll probably see Blake on the main roster. Have a good time after Sunday Deliver. She doesn't need to win the NXT Women's Championship. Some people are like, oh, she has to win that before she moves up. No, she doesn't. Alexa never won the NXT Women's Championship. Bianca never won the NXT Women's Championship. It's not a fucking must. Did Io even win the NXT Championship? She probably did. But you don't have to. Like, it doesn't really matter once you get the main roster. Sol and Zarya, it's probably going to be a match for Stand and Deliver. It's looking like it might be JC and Kendall running back, which I don't mind. I think I could maybe see Kendall winning it there, and they do just banking on the future. Because my God, she is some wrestler already. She's only been doing it for 2 or 3 years. She's fucking great. And then you could put Fatal Influence on the main roster where they belong. They're great as well. Credit to JC, who's an amazing year. I love Fallon as well. I think Fallon's great. She lost the Speed Championship this week to Ren Sinclair, who again is great. Lainey was a bit new to Fatal Influence. I feel like Jasmine Nix might end up kicking herself after Sun Deliver when they're on the main roster. But so I was a bit unsure, does she deserve to be on there? But she can go as well. She had a great banger in Sol last week. It's looking like it's going to be as well. I'm thinking a fatal four-way between Hendry, D'Angelo, Page, and Starks. Oh, Ricky Starks, Ricky Saints at San Deliver. I think that'll be great as well. Page and Saints have been doing this kind of a shtick for a month or two now. I mean, of course, they go way back to AW. They're all real life good buddies, I believe. But they've been, it's kind of this frenemy vibe. They come out, they're both heels. They shit on each other a lot of the time, but they'll throw each other under the bus. But they're still like, oh, yeah, we're good friends. Joe Hendry was coming out, kind of shit talking both of them. He's trying to twist them against each other this week, and it failed. They both attacked him, but it failed in the short term. Ultimately, long term, it succeeded because Ethan Page volunteered Ricky Saints to take on Tony D this week. Is it NXT? Looking forward to that one. And then the rest of the stuff on NXT right now, I'm not that into, to be honest. I don't think there's much to report. The Bear Fight started up with who have you got? You got Lexus King in there. Of course, he was one of the Pillmans. Brian Pillman was his father. Excuse me, Charlie Dempsey's in there. I can't remember what it is. Things from Stax and Ariana in there as well. Who was it this week? I heard rumors. They've either signed or they're going to sign. Was her name Maria Malenko? Anyway, it's Steve Malenko's daughter. I could see her being signed up and thrown straight into this. Left, right thing. So it makes sense. They also have William Regal and Finley. Oh, maybe that's who Dempsey is. No, no, isn't that right? Didn't they try to get Finley's son in this group? And he said no, went to AW. I can't say blame him just yet, but I want to give them a chance. There are a lot of factions in NXT or teams you could go up against. You know, there's Hank and Tan, there's Dark State, there's OTM. There are people there to be worked with. I think Kalani is taking on Jada this week. That should be good. I don't know what the fuck Lola's doing. She should have been on the main roster by now. It's crazy. The women I would think deserve to main event stand and deliver this year. Genuinely, the women have been the best thing about the company in general, especially NXT. Um, what else is there on NXT to talk about? Robert Stone, William Regal put him over on screen, whether he's trying to buddy up and gain favour with his group, or that was just a visual nod of approval on screen to say that, yeah, the backstage, they're kind of looking at Robert Stone. He's been on this like interim general manager run. They're probably just going to give it to him. And I have no problem with that whatsoever. I think he's good. I think he's great. I don't think he's an Adam Pearce or a Nick Aldis, but I think he's pretty good. Better than Ava, anyway. So I have no problem with that whatsoever. Yeah, NXT's main event this week. If that's one you didn't watch, I would suggest go watch it. The ending was a little corny, I guess. Tatum celebrating there. Her mother was there as well. It was on home tape, Texas. So as soon as they said that, you knew she was going to win. But she's celebrating on the aisle. Blake opens the trap door, just grabs her and like fucking drags her down. And then pops up and grabs the championship. If there's any doubt that Blake Monroe is not the biggest star in NXT right now, uh, it's the fact they used her on the hit image holding the title. Mariah's was the thumbnail of the highlights video. She was only in a show for like 20 seconds. And it got something like 2 million views in like whatever time on social. So it's about time, you know. I'm glad they gave her a big fucking standard level match. That match should be fucking sick as well. It's gonna be in a couple of weeks' time. Go, excited. SmackDown began. Of course, the big story has been Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. Like I said earlier, Cody wasn't on the show this week. Makes sense. Randy was interspersed everywhere, really, all week. WWE. Like I said, they had a thing in Raw where Michael Cole was talking to him. And fuck me. I know he's a boomer. God bless him. I love Randy, but someone get this man a better camera. The fuck was they filming on Monday? My God. It was a potato. Like, I know my webcam's not great, but I'm not a fucking. You still see me clearer than what they did with Randy. Was this satellite imagery? Was this legit live as well? What the fuck? Multi-billion-dollar company. My God. He looked like a robot, man. It cuts to him. He's on the phone talking to someone. We don't know who it is yet, but he's basically saying, "Yeah, you know, I'll see you in a few weeks. Yeah, I took your advice." Um, so it's implying this higher power, this person who's kind of pulling the strings almost, who's above Randy here, directing him, and told them, you know, listen to the voices. And that fueled him to attack Cody Rhodes. But it's not like Cody Rhodes did directly say to him, basically, I want you to listen to the voices. I want the real you. Like, I want the best version of Randy. So Randy was like, all right then, you fucking beat him the shit and beat him the fuck up. Each his own. Cody basically asked for it. But they're going with this angle now of, you know, so there's someone else working behind the scenes, almost like shadowing Randy. Who is that? I have no fucking idea. There are many theories I've seen online, as ranging from The Rock to Ric Flair to Batista to Kevin Owens to even fucking Shane McMahon. Like every Triple H, every fucking name you could envision has been there. Bully Ray, Bubba Ray, come out and said, "Oh, I think it should be Charlotte Flair." Like, what? It makes sense. She's too busy eating ice cream with Alexa, watching the fucking Bellas and Nia Jax and Laugh Legend try to wrestle. Oh, because she's a Flair there at work. She can't have Rick on there. Oh, another suggestion I saw, the best one, yeah, was Ted DiBiase Jr., who is, of course, the third guy in the legacy, along with Randy and Cody. So it will make sense. However, there's just one downside to that. Unfortunately for young Ted, he was in hot water. He had busier things to attend to. He was in court over defrauding the state. I think he got found not guilty for that. So he had bigger things on his plate. Oh. Everyone suggests that clearly had no idea about this fucking ongoing court case he had that's run for years. Maybe it was Randy on the phone. Maybe he got him off scot free. Was that part of the story? WWE just paid them off last minute. DiBiase. It's like, all right, we'll pay his debts, government. Can we use him this Friday? Ted's going to show up and just lay out Cody Rhodes or something. It was. It was all a work. I think of all the names suggested, the one that makes most sense is Kevin Owens, KO. And it'd be a nice way to bring him back. But yeah, the whole angle they're going with of mystery. Triple H, man, he loves it. How many times have they done this mystery angle? We never even get an answer to it. I'm sure we will this time, but I'm just saying in general, he fucking loves it. He loves coming out of a show with more questions than answers, which typically is the better thing to do. It makes the audience want to return and come back. But the stories have to be compelling. They made no fucking mention of this shit in the first 2 or 3 segments he appeared on SmackDown. So he finally did at the end. But, I expected something. Randy, like I said, he appeared a few times. His first segment, I don't know how to feel about it. It wasn't bad. It just kind of it was a segment that existed. You know, it was to be going along with. He went out and he just cut this. I don't really know where they're going here. He's shaking hands with the crowd and stuff. He's not acting like a heel when he's intermingling with the crowd, interacting with the crowd. He comes out his entrance, they're all cheering. Maybe they were responding to that. Surely they knew the fans are going to cheer him regardless. The fans cheer. The fans just don't want Cody as that spot, or they're rebelling somewhat. I don't think they hate Cody per se. It's more they don't want another Super Cena. Cody, I don't think has ever lost clean since go back to the company. And you're talking 4 years now, for example. You know, they're not going to boo him throughout this whole time. So I guess the angle they're going for, maybe this is smart and this is a good thing. I feel like what they're doing is he's still acting like a face. He's still going out. He's shaking hands with people. He's smiling. He's not going to care anywhere. He's just going about his business. And then he sits down. He's like, I still love Cody, but sometimes the voices overwhelm me. The making off this angle of he's not a heel so much as he snaps periodically. The voices get the better of him. He's like a Jekyll and Hyde figure. A bit like Bailey. They were trying to kind of do with talk about Triple H stories that fucking go nowhere. And yeah, it's drop. Bailey was kind of a bit like that at times over the autumn. She would get really fired up. Lyra would slap her, and she's like, "Oh, no!" She's kind of like this wrecking machine. Randy's a bit like that, just more savage. The Viper will come out the on side, all of a sudden explodes. They went with this angle and this kind of vibe with them all night, and it was certainly interesting. It was interesting to see. And you're thinking, who's this guy who's kind of like goading him, getting the voices come out? Alistair Black. There's another suggestion. Maybe it could be. We saw him on screen, egging Randy on, basically saying, I know the real you. I know you're bullshitting everyone. The voices are still fucking there, just as loud as normal. Drop the charade. So maybe it's him on the thing. I feel like that'd be a bit too on the nose because we have had him on screen doing this shit. But the whole the whole direction they're going in. Yeah, perhaps it is just so because they're aware the fans are going to cheer in general. They did not give a single fuck, however heinous this man got tonight. Comes out, he does that promo, he goes backstage. Oh, bro, I fuck hit myself up. A couple of things on SmackDown this week, to be fair. I said this is the weakest show of the three, in my opinion. A couple of things just fucking got. I was dying. Matt Carbone's hit. And it kind of makes sense. You know, he's eyeballing Andy. He's like, oh, you got something to say? Like, you fucking eyeballing me, son? He's like, oh man, like, I've known you for years. Me and Cody go way back as well. He's my boy. Yeah, what the fuck was that? Why did you assault him like that? What are you doing? I thought you guys were tight. Randy's basically like, yeah, they're back and forth. Oh, he got so irate at one point. What did he say? He called him a mark-ass stooge. Indie nerd. He fucking likes him. The way he did it. I need to watch this one back. Oh, I fucking lost, man. I can. He's a big online gamer, Randy. I don't know what kind of games he plays. Look, it's like Elden Ring and some stuff. I would love it. I would love it if he's like. He gives me COD lobby guy vibe, guys. You know, the old classic COD lobby. I just hear him on the mic talking his shit. Someone should do a soundboard of Randy Orton. This was great. Mark Stooge, indie nerd, play for toys. He just exploded, laid him out, talked his shit, wandered off. Later on, he looked a bit cheap. He was talking on his phone. It was kind of like, oh man, I kind of feel bad. Yeah, I'm gonna apologize. I think the person on the phone was like, you know what to do, you know. So then he goes back out. We saw him throughout the show. He kind of tied this whole narrative story go down. As you see this man like just losing his fucking mind, losing control of the voices. Good stuff. Of course, Cardona out. Cardona comes out. He's a babyface in WWE, so wrestling. So of course he's an idiot. Randy's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He goes to embrace him and that. Kicks him in the balls. Sure, Chelsea didn't appreciate that one. He set him for chairs if he's going to Pillmanize him. Pillmanize him. And all these security guys come round, surround him. And you just know. It's going to happen anyway. Bam. Breaks free of them. Jumps on the thing. He Pillmanizes his arm. Cardona. So he's going to be written off for however long. Probably till after May. So clearly off fuck all for him. And Maurice Keys from up to it. Where the fuck was he this week? There's rumours it was going to be Jelly Roll, Maurice Keys. I was hearing the name suggested Rolls Royce, which is fucking genius, by the way. But a lot of these guys have no direction. He's going to be gone for a few weeks. Cody, I'm sure, will be back next week. I don't. I mean, poor Cardona, man. He came back to the company. He's just getting. He sat there talking to Apollo Crews half the time. All that stuff there. And now he's getting Pillmanized. And the crowd did not sympathise. As Randy's been led away, they literally went, one more time, one more time. They're all going, Randy. I love it when the crowd doesn't do what WWE wants them to do or expects them to do. They want it Cody every year. Yeah, Cody, we want Cody to win. This is what happens when you push the same baby faces in the big title scene year after year after year after year. 4 years in a row, Cody. The only one who seems immune to that is Rhea. And it's not to me. Because I think Air Program with Jade is utter dare. I'm going to talk about that. But it happens, man. I'm exactly in the same boat. I want Randy to win. I don't give a shit. I think he's way better as a heel and more entertaining. Yeah, you can respect the work. But if I was there, I wouldn't boo him either. Even for the pantomime boos. Like, this man's fucking gold. In his last run, hope he wins. This is just great. And the whole angle, there was some development to it, I guess. You see him continue to fuck off, really. Continue to tap into the voices and the violence in his desperation to win number 15. Will he win or won't he? I don't know, man. I ask myself this question every week. I'm erring more towards Cody retaining now at this point. Hope not, but we'll see. I have nothing against Cody, though. I'll say that again. But it's just overindulgence of overexposure, same person. I guess let's talk about Jade for real. It was better than previous weeks, but it's not hard to do. Rhea at least had a couple of lines where I was like, oh, that I didn't mind that. She said, Jade had said something like, I ain't in here to make friends. I'm here to make more money, she said. And Rhea was like, well, yeah, if you're not in here to make friends, you're doing a damn good job about it. Probably a little vibe, but the kind of implication that was given in the social media beef that Jade had with like everyone recently. And then the reports came out that she's not very liked backstage by a lot of the women in SmackDown locker room. So maybe Rhea's referencing that. So I was like, oh, okay, are they finally gonna kind of tap into the Twitter stuff? And then they just start keeps calling each other bitch. And then they just keep talking just in generic soundbite. So I'm in this business because I love this business. I respect this business and yada yada. Chat GPT rovers. Is this the feud of who can call the other bitch the most? It's every fucking week, man. Yeah, it's Jade's catchphrase. It's all she says. It's all she knows what to say. Blah 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 because I'm a bitch. And Rhea's like, yeah, but I'm gonna make you my bitch. Fuck me. It's just okay. It's so bad. It's so surface level. I would even say all style, no substance. There's no style to it. It's just plop some shit on there to waste some time. We have to get them on because Rhea still gets a huge top. Jade is the champ. She has to fucking be there. Hey, listen, Roman. Champ has to be there. But yeah, like, disclaimer, I know Roman Reigns is never going to watch it. You get the point. Like I said, I would have done things different. When I watch, I'm not even going to talk about a match anymore. Oh, I guess something did happen. I forgot. Right. Jade has been feuding with Michin and Beep for months. Especially Michin. She injured both of them. And they come out. Rhea basically is like, look, are you going to take a swing? Go on. We're coming out here every week talking shit. I ain't waiting till Mania. Like, take a swing. She offered a change. Go for it right there. I had such a fucking strong visualization of the Breakfast Club where fucking Principal Vernon locks Bender in the fucking storage room and he does the same. He's like, come on, take a shot. Right there. When Rhea did that. Jade's like, nah, on my time. Rolls out the ring. It's about to head back up. And then Michin beef up. Come on. Michin's got a kendo stick. As usual. I knew there and then, oh well, they're gonna team with Jade. BFAB at least it kind of teased it. There's been times where going back to like a month or so ago where Jade was kind of like just bullying both of them. She was a bit like reluctant to do anything when Michin's like, come on, let's get this bitch. Like, fuck this. You're gonna let her talk to us like that. She looked a bit sheepish or like she's more receptive to, oh fuck, well, maybe I should just join up with the big bully woman. And then they had a segment where Jade was seen speaking to BFAB last week. Doing that. I thought they were going to go more with that and have Michin and BFAB kind of confront Jade one week, and then BFAB takes out Michin there. And then you could have like a Michin and sounds so, but whatever. At least it's better than the fucking segment, sort of. Michin and Rhea versus Jade and Beef on like the Go Home show, whatever the fuck. You could do that, or the week before. I would maybe gonna go that way. I feel like I could get behind BFAB joining up with, you can see that played out. Why the fuck is Nietzsche gone here and seen with Jade? Is it really as simple as if you can't beat him, join him? There's been no real implication of that at all. She's not taken anything lying down. She's come back after she got injured. She's still got the kendo. It's looking like she hates Jade, wants to beat on her. And now suddenly they're all getting in and beating on Rhea. The fuck was that? I don't know why Meacham was inserted into this. I guess it gives us something more long term to do. If you went my direction, then what happens? If Jade retains, B5's still going to be there. Maybe we could have Meechin as a next challenger after that, but who really cares to see that? With full due respect. So, you can do that. It stacked the tables against Rhea. Is Rhea Hogan really going to walk me through it? I genuinely don't know who I want to win this match because both options sound horrific to me. I don't really want Rhea on SmackDown for one thing. She wins the title, she's on SmackDown. I think she's better being on Io's brand. I think she's better on Raw. Jade wins, it means more Jade. If Rhea wins now as well, it's like she's going to overcome three fucking people, which is such a John Cena thing. It's super Cena. But okay, who would doubt Triple H doing that? I'm sure she's probably been brought in just to try and elevate Jade, having the flogging a dead horse there, and she's just fucking awful. She's terrible. Why is this the champion? I could not have done a more underwhelming fucking match if I tried. Genuinely. If you sat me down, when did they start planning for Mania season? I wonder. Let's say October. They start doing the advertisements around November, so I assume they have a lot of the women in mind and men who they're doing these advertisements with. They are going to be the main card. They had the plans in place then. I'm sure we'll see on WWE where. But fuck it. You have so long to set this up. You're going with a woman who's not even on SmackDown's roster, who clearly does not want it. Both of them clearly don't want to be there as well, by the way. This week, Jade Cargill did an interview on some social, and she talked about how she didn't want to. She was really excited and looking forward to potentially working with Charlotte, who is a lot of people's choice. And Bianca wasn't there. A lot of people were like, "Well, Charlotte makes sense." They teased some things before. They at least have some face-offs they've done. You could do tensions between Charlotte and Alexa, if not have them wrestle both of them. And they could carry the story aspect of it. Because let's face it, Jade can't carry any story. Nor can Rhea. So they're both fucking sinking right now. Because Rhea needs someone to help with the story aspect. She's had Bianca in the past. She's had Charlotte. She's had Becky. All of them are good talkers. Like I said, I would have just cut Jade out entirely. If no Bianca there, everyone's like, okay, then well, who should Jade take on? No one then. Cut her entirely. I would have done Charlotte versus Alexa. And had Rhea still on Raw, working with Io. Io's wandering around like a fucking lost sheep. Rhea's miserable. She's on Instagram every week or Twitter moaning because she's basically telling everyone, I think, after, maybe it was unfair of me to call her Rhea Hogan. I mean, it still is. I never directly blamed Rhea. Jaded kind of implied some legit creative input or influence that Rhea has. Maybe she's doing all this just to say, Jade, you're fucking beneath me. You're lucky I'm even deciding to work with you, bitch. But the company has basically decided that for me. I don't really want it either. But I wish she just said that at the time. And they gave the win to Alexa or something. Or worked Charlotte into the match and gave her the win. Or found something alternative. We'll move on to the tag match because instead they've got Charlotte and Alexa working with Nia and Lash. Lash is a rookie from NXT who's recently on the main roster. Nia, bro. I should maybe start doing something like Stinker of the Week or Biggest villain of the week. Biggest letdown of the week. Should we do some awards thing? We'll call it the honorary Nia Jax shittest performance of the week award as our inaugural champ. I've got a feeling she's going to defend it quite a few times because fucking hell, she was abysmal, absolutely abysmal. The ranting gun. This match, who the fuck wanted this? You have the Bella Twins, who've not wrestled in 8 years. Charlotte and Lex are the two biggest names in the division. Even with Bianca there, I think. I'm not including Rhea. I think Rhea is the biggest woman wrestler on the planet right now. Sure. I'm not including her because I still consider her part of Raw. You have them mixing with these teams. Nia, who's just lazy. Lash, who's a rookie. And the Bellas were wrestling together for the first time in 8 years. Yet somehow still have a tag team title match. Can you explain that to me, please, WWE? They just do these things. I said it last week. Ivy Nile didn't wrestle on TV for like 6 months. Suddenly got an IC championship. Shouldn't you just do shit like this? Seems like that makes no fucking sense. AJ Lee hadn't had a singles match in over a decade. Gets an IC championship. AJ at least is great though. I'm not even going to criticize Bell as much this week because when I look at the two teams up against each other, yes, the Bellas have more experience as a team, but that was like a decade ago or more. And that was in a weaker era. Nia and Lash should have been expected to carry this match. I'm not even going to shut Lash here, actually, because I'm looking more at Nia. I don't know if she sandbagged them or what. Sometimes you see a Nia, and it's like she's such a Jekyll and Hyde wrestler. It's maybe one in a blue moon she'll have a performance where I'm like, that wasn't too bad. And I think she's a good heel. I think she's not a good talker, but she's not bad. She's better than Rhea and Jade, I would say. I think she's got a good heel psychology. I remember the match against Jade and Tiffy, the triple threat, the infamous one where she didn't kick out. Or, well, the ref didn't count. Whoever fucked up, where? At one point, I think Tiff is going around the ring and they go, "We want tables." Nia lays her out. Nia starts taking the table out and then puts it back in under the ring, turns around, gives the clap a bit. I fucking popped that. I lost my shit. I was pissing myself. Stuff like that. She's good at. But bro, so many times, so many other matches I'm watching, and it's like watching someone in quicksand. It doesn't matter who she's with sometimes. And there are certain people she definitely teabags. Or sandbags. Teabags. Yeah, she's sandbagged. There's a clip. Charlotte and Lexa came out. They were inside. Earlier on, they'd had a run-in with Bella's. The big story is Brie stole Alexa's spoon, and Nikki said to Charlotte, "Yeah, we're going to show you how real legends get done." The very concept of the Bellas trying to say they're bigger legends than Charlotte and Lexa is what are we doing? It's not even worth the comparison. But they're inside. And like last week, of course, they're going to get involved because of the queue, which is exactly what ended up happening. Charlotte goes to attack Nia. There's a clip. Bro, she does not sell. She's just stood there. It's like punching a brick wall. Or a punching bag. It just comes back. You're like, Charlotte's throwing strikes. And it's just like, she's just not moving. It's like, fucking move, Sal. What are you doing? And then eventually she kind of takes a step back, turns around, bends a fucking. I don't want to fat shame. I was about to say bends a fat ass over, and Charlie, you can see, just fucking shoves her. She's probably, what the fuck are you doing, bitch? Work with me. Bro, those two, over the years especially, just never, ever had chemistry. I say this a lot. The SmackDown Women's Division does have talent, but fuck me. For whatever reason, I would love to be a fly on the wall in a locker room sometimes because it's like so many of them just don't work well together. When is the last time we had a genuinely great women's match in SmackDown? Raw has had a lot of them. You can take superstars out of SmackDown sometimes, not better. That's why I think Charlotte likes a better in this. There's no coincidence that when they were on Raw, in the build-up to War Games. They had a couple of bangers with Bailey and Lyra and then Rhea Neal. Those are the Bailey and Lyra, their Charlotte's should be the fucking Mania match. And get the Kabuki Warriors in there. Fuck off Bella Twins out of it. And fuck off Nia Lash. To be fair, I said I wasn't going to do this. It's a recourse. I apologise. I don't think we can judge the Bella Twins based on this week. Like I said, Nia Lash should have been the leaders of this match. The Bella Twins, they did okay. They were trying. But you can't work with these fucking big stiff idiots. I don't think Lash was like purposely doing anything. I think she's just still a bit green. And she does still have. I can see something. You know what I mean? I think she's just a better version of Nia. This Samoan mind control to still have this woman in the fucking company, bro. It's more than just a Charlotte thing. At one point, Brie gets a hot tag from Nikki. And it's credit to Brie. She gets up on a turnbuckle. And you can see Nia on the other side, who's just been tagged in. Slow ass. You're supposed to get tagged in, like a hot tag. You come in rushing, you come in raring to go, fight. Brie got up on a turnbuckle and was supposed to missile dropkick Nia, who's come across the ring to, try and get Nikki basically and try and stop the hot tag. She was that slow, that far behind, that far off the pace. She wasn't even barely in the ring yet when Nikki got tapped. And she's a slow ass. She wasn't exactly rushing to get across. It's just ambling along, waddling along. Brie was clearly like, fuck this, I'm not waiting. She still went for the dropkick and still eventually connected it. They just about met. But Brie got like halfway across the ring. It's credit to her. Oh, fuck me, man. This was bad. This was a bad match. And it was mainly because of Nia. So you've got to improve, Nia Jax. I'm sorry. If you're the fucking tag team champion, if you're the one trusted with... I still don't fully buy into the Lash hype. I think there were 10 women I would promote from NXT ahead of her. But like I said, I don't hate it. I'm still receptive. I think there's still time to work with her. But if you're going to give her a mentor, someone to guide her through the matches and stuff, she can do better than Nia, man. Nia has had some good matches over the last couple of years. Her match with Tiffany last year was... I actually spoke about it on my annual review. I think it even made that, which is, good going. It's one of the things I remembered. I think I was just giving a quick recap, if you want. My words were probably something like, oh, if you've got a good match on, I. But yeah, like, this was cool. The women's tag division has been more a focus for the last 6 months or so, and if this is the state we're going into Mania in, and what are we doing? You have to get Bailey and Lyra and the Kabuki Warriors involved in this as soon as possible. Simple as that. Simple as that. If not, then I would rather have had Charlotte and Alexa in a US Championship picture than stuck with these fucking idiots. Speaking of US Championship, Drew and Kiana, first signs of tension. Kiana got beat by Tiffy last week. A feud that WWE just conjured out of nowhere. There was no heat to it at all. There was no spark. There was no genesis of it. It just sprang into action one week. Like, we're all idiots. And WWE is like, oh, they'll not notice. Whatever. What the fuck are you doing? You didn't start a film on Act 2. Like, oh, hang on, what the fuck happened to get here? No, they just threw it in, like, oh, bump. Oh, it's there now. Yeah, Julius feuding with Tiffany, even though they had no interaction for the last 5 months. Okay. So everyone thought at least it's going to lead to a Mania match. And then they announced they're fighting each other next week. Like, what? Chelsea had approached... Chelsea and Alba had approached Julian Kiana earlier on the show. It was basically, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Because I was pissing myself with this last week. Tiffany had wheeled Chelsea in a wheelchair away. Oh, she's injured. So she's beefing with her. And basically Julian and Kiana were like, yeah, fuck off. We're not a team with you. The fact they're doing this match next week, if Tiffany had not been advertised, the Mania card prior to this, or, in the Mania advertisements, I would have maybe thought, maybe she's not going to be on the card. and this match is, nothing. But no, I don't think so. Like, I expect Tiffy will be on the cards. I'm thinking there will be US Championship match. So the only option really for next week is interference. I think Chelsea's going to interfere. I'm sure she's probably been cleared by then. Maybe they'll make it triple threat. Or maybe Kiana turns on Julia. It gets DQ'd out, and then Kiana's added. And it's triple threat. Something like that. I could maybe see them sticking the US Championship on Kiana if that happened. That match happened. Because they're getting higher on it. She's good. Oh, man. Still pretty die, though. Okay. Jordan Grace was supposed to be in this match, apparently. But she got injured, unfortunately. Speaking of titles, the MFT, who are basically operating under three bed rules here, because they won the tag team championships. I think it was Jeff Cobb and Solo Sikoa won it. But then this time it was Cobb, JC Mateo and Tamatonga defending it against Damian Priest and R-Truth. Bro, if you'd have told me a few weeks ago the MFT is going to lose the tag team championships, guess what team's going to beat them? I've said this. Because this team didn't exist a couple of weeks ago. Of course, they go way back to the Judgment Day days. Fucking love those segments. With R-Truth thinking he was part of the group and that was great. That was peak Judgment Day in terms of comedy. I didn't mind this, to be honest. I mean, am I massive on R-Truth and Priest? Really? I didn't mind him. But I think teaming them up together is a good idea. I mean, they were both not doing too much. Priest was getting featured a bit more prominently at the start of the year, but, this can help him. The main thing here is it got the tag titles away from the Wyatt's MFT's never-ending vortex. Because this killed the tag division. The Virgin and the SmackDown tag division of last year, they did so well, man. The one with the Profits in, with Los Garza, with DIY, with Motor City Machine Guns, Fraction, Andrade and Phoenix. One by one, through various means, some left to AEW, Andrade and Ciampa. Some just disappeared. They've just gone off to the black hole somewhere. The Prophet. Some were just written off for months. MCMG. Fraction were doing US Open challenges. For whatever reason, like the tag championship getting put on the Wyatts, who barely appeared. And then we're in Mexico half the time. And are just this, by nature, this novelty act who mostly speak through fucking riddles and video VHS. And then you put it in this feud. It's not even like it's played the main focus. A lot of focus has been about this fucking stupid line. Jesus Christ. It had to go off it. I'm glad it came off it. If there was going to be a team to dethrone them, I would not have picked this. But Priest and Truth versus MCMG or Fraxium or whatever, it could be fun. Or the Gazas. I didn't mind that. So yeah, it was fine. It was a run of the mill match. It wasn't great, wasn't bad. It was what it was. They're trying to say, bro, if ever there was something that summed up how little a shit the fans give about the NXT, who is this? The backstage later on, Solo's human. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I won these tag titles. You useless prick. You just lost them. He's dressing them all down. And Tamatonga turns around and is like, just give the lamp back. That's fucking ended. Even they're tired of the Wyatt shit. It's why Uncle Howdy's won it back twice, 2 weeks in a row, and then just had it stolen straight back off him. Like, minutes later. Made to look like a little bitch. And this never-ending feud. So he's like, just give the lamp back. And, this will all be over. Like, fuck it. So I was like, what? And Tama went, maybe the teasing Tamatonga leaving the MFC. I didn't give a fuck, really. if he leaves or stays. But this guy you've seen, they're trying to do more with him. They're seeing a little more in him. They gave him a pinfall win over Ilya recently. Twice maybe. I think they gave him one over Mello in that big 10-man match they did like last month. Solo turns around and he goes, "You're beginning to sound like Roman." And then Solo does this slow turn around, this big pause, where you can tell WWE and the performers themselves are leaving that gap, thinking or hoping the crowd are going to go, "Oh, no, complete silence." No one gave up along the line. You know, a good comparison is like, remember, for a story fans actually care about, the famous segment, is it 2022? Yeah, because it was Sammy Uso, and there's the big tensions with Jey Uso, and Jey is arguing with him, and then he goes, "Oh, I don't give a damn what the tribal chief has to say." Roman's in the front of the shot, and then just looks up, slowly turns around. The fans then, they knew the assignment, they went, "Oh, shit, it's like you fucked up." I think WWE thought it was going to be something like that. No one gave a fuck. Where were they this week? Raleigh, North Carolina, they were in. No, they just didn't care. They were in Flair country. They didn't care. Man, Mallow versus Ilya was really good this week. Mallow retains, wins fair and square. Again, excuse me, another one I thought they were going to do at Mania. I don't see what either man's doing at Mania now. Are they even getting on the card? As maybe Mallow will even just do an open challenge at Mania. Like he'll offer one up, come on, be like, all right, he accepts. That could be a way to debut someone. Can you imagine Chris Jericho comes off that? Actually, that'd be pretty sick. I doubt it. But yeah, I don't know. Ilya Gunther? Could that happen? I would be fucking hyped for that, but they'd have to get cracking on that immediately and make sense of it. Just play off their history. I was hoping the whole time for Mello and Trick, but clearly Trick Williams is going the direction with Sami Zayn. Sami later on. Sami throughout the show is acting kind of unhinged and a bit heelish again. Like he's fed up, he doesn't really know what else to do. The fans' reaction to him was a bit muted. It's almost like they're a bit getting closer now to finally accepting being tasked with booing him if he is a heel. And everyone gives, by contrast as well, great guy for him to be feuding with. Everyone cheers for Trick, even though he's a heel, because he's so damn charismatic. He's such a great talker. He's got twaz, pizzazz, and his lemon pepper steppers. Olive Trick, he's great. Black took on Zayn in what I thought was a decent match. Aleister Black gets another big win, mainly because Sammy got distracted. He was beating up Aleister, frozen back in the ring. He was in danger of getting counted out. Trick Williams was talking his shit because he also came ringside to watch. Charlotte Knights have been there earlier. It's the week of everyone spectating. And he took on the mantle of aggravating Sammy, because of course he did. Sammy is like, "Oh, should I fucking go back here? Fuck it, I'm going to attack him." I thought Sammy was going to count it out then. That's how he's going to lose. He chose to attack Trick rather than do that. I'm glad they did it the other way, where he did make it back in the ring on the 9 count, but he was so not ready that he basically turned around, bam, straight into Black Mask, and bro, this connected. It showed a replay. I could see it in real time. It's fair. Full on, right in the jaw, just lays Sammy out. Arsenal gets a win. I'd rather do that. If you're gonna have Sammy lose due to, he's still protected because it was due to the Trick being there and Sammy unable to resist hitting him for aggravating him. If you're gonna do that, well, at least give Alistair some rub for that. He gets another win. He beat Randy Orton a while ago. That's me not forget. Now another win against Sami Zayn. So that helps Black a bit. It wasn't really the main architect of both of those wins, but it's still a win. Yeah, are we going to? I'm starting to think we might get a double turn, maybe. Sammy, that's true. Sammy loses narrowly, but he loses fair and square and just assaults Trick. and Data Hendrick face Sammy Hill. I think that could work. I'd be more inclined to just say let Trick be. It didn't really matter what he is. He's going to achieve. But for Sami Zayn, it's definitely an interesting. There's stuff on TV I'm really into right now. I don't know where it's going to go. I'm interested to see. Uh, get this match booked already. I don't know what the delay is. It's clearly the direction they're going to go in. Where that leaves Mello, I do not know. And now Ilya. Maybe they will just run it back at Mania again, but that'll be a fair time. But it's just fucking get it sorted, so we can start knowing the answers to these fucking questions. We don't have to sit here for 2 hours every week. Like, okay, well, I wonder what they're gonna do. I wonder what just scared to book anything, man. I fucking didn't know what to do. I think that's spooked by the injury bug that's gone around the last year or so. He was so hesitant to lock anything in. Fucking hell. I don't know why they're doing Julia and Tiffany next week, unless it is to add other women to that match. What else happened on SmackDown? Oh, bro. The best part of the show was Wilson and Jelly Roll. Can't believe I'm saying. Well, besides Mello and Ilya, which is a banger match. But man, like Kit Wilson, I'm sold now. I'm a Kit Wilson fan. I don't care. This guy's won me over. It'd been threatening to for a while, ever since his appearance in England, where he naturally got cheated because he's a homegrown guy. But the attack on Cardona and the sound guy deserves a lot of credit for helping get him over. First and foremost, I'm not that big on his theme song. A lot of people love his theme song. It's not bad. It's just it's kind of meme in it. Um, but I don't think it's like a banger. Well, yeah. Even though you're not supposed to take it too seriously. No, it is mean. But that helped him get over. And the attack on Cardona, where the sound, his theme just stopped when he attacked him. And he's like, stop. Theme starts and he just strolls. And the timing was perfect. Ever since then, I could see something in him. I'm like, oh shit, this guy might get over. He's starting to, and he will more if he continues doing shit like this. Jelly played his part perfectly as well. I was questioning last week. It's kind of wild that this guy clearly is headed to a Mania program. You have people like Gunther, Io Sky, LA Knight, Mello, Ilya, Julia, Tiffany, Charlotte. A lot of these people don't even have a clear direction on what their match is going to look like. This one is looking like it's going to shape up to be. I can't believe it. Jelly Roll and Danhausen. I'm sure I've heard Danhausen can't wrestle, or he's like injured. Maybe I don't know. The Miz and Kit Wilson look like the beginning to team up. So you would think a tag match. I don't think they put Jelly Roll in a singles match. If they're going to do a singles match, it would be Jelly and Kit. You would assume. And Mania. It has to be Mania. I don't see why they'd have Jelly Roll on during this fucking build for weeks if he's not getting matched there. But yeah, who would team up with him? There was talk about Rose Keys, like I'm saying, but I feel like they would have brought him in by now, probably this week. Maybe not. I don't know. He wasn't needed there this week. They had a big poetry battle. Kit Wilson's poems were great. And Jelly Rolls were pretty good as well. I'm not going to run through them. You can watch it back. It was pretty vulgar, like juvenile, Freddy Got Fingered style humor. You know what I mean? But it was fun. It made me laugh. It made me smile watching it. I didn't mind. I was sports entertained. Put it that way. And Jelly Roll, man, when he's serious, he did a talk with Randy Orton. That was the other segment. That was it. That was when Randy Orton was like, "Oh, I'm going to go apologize to Cardin." It was Jelly Roll talk to him. I do think the guy cut the monologue a little too long. He went on for like, bro, a full 2 minutes, and you could hear the crowd getting restless actually in the background. But there's no denying, like, the guy can talk. I mean, he's a performer. Naturally, he was a wordsmith, musician. He was a rapper before he was a country singer. So you would expect that. But still, it's a world of a difference between like going out there doing it live as a wrestler, getting the emotion in and stuff like that. I paid tribute to him last week. You know, the effort the guy clearly goes. He clearly loves the business. And same again. This was gold, man. This was the best part of the show. That was not Mel Williams. Which is wild, but how about this segment was brilliant. And I'm actually getting sold on that match on. Whatever combination it's going to be. It could just be Kit versus Jelly. It could be Kit and Miz versus Jelly and someone. It could be Miz versus Jelly. Who the fuck knows? Whatever. Like, I'm in on it. I'm sure Miz maybe is supposed to be involved, but he gets ruled out because he still cares. He did a little segment where a couple of ladders fell. He's trying to get uncursed by Danhausen. Elsewhere, there's a tag team match between the MCMG, Motor Machine Guns, and Fraxum. Remember those guys? Two of the best tag teams in the world. Yeah, they still exist. They were back, took on each other. Solid match. Before the match, poor John. Johnny Gargano, one of the best wrestlers in the fucking company, is still, after, it's going to be at least a month of this, still lying on crates backstage, planking. The fuck is this man doing? Just comatose? I don't know what to do. He really did not take Ciampa leaving WWE well, did he? Candice is there trying to G him up. She's like, you know what else to do. Danhausen comes over. He's like, do you want me to uncase him for you? No, he looks cased. It'll cost you, and Candice obviously like, yeah, sure, like, if you would. Thank you. Oh, it'll cost you $20. Oh, all right. Rifles around Johnny's pockets, finds 20 quid. Bam, there you go. Danhausen just disappears. He fucking fleeced him. Scammed him. Which made me laugh. God, the best part of SmackDown these days, fucking gimmick acts backstage. Oh, Jesus, man. Like, that's what it's called. I'm just realizing that now. The gimmick acts are making the most memorable part of the fucking show for me. What does that say? Vince was right all along. He's going to bring him back. Fucking hell. Oh, what we doing? He's still there. He's still prostate. Shelley started this thing recently where it almost looks like he's flirting with Lorraine. I don't blame him. Candice is fucking fine looking woman. But Johnny's right there, man. Is that how you're going to get him back to speed? You're going to hit on his wife. Maybe eventually he'll stand up and be like, fuck you, Shelley. They're kind of teasing something there. I got that vibe when she come out and helped MTMG. Shelley's been doing it under guise of, oh, well, what's up with Johnny? Really concerned about him, trying to help him. Whereas Saban just doesn't give a flying fuck. He's like, what are you doing, man? Kind of teasing tension between those two as well. Saban realised that Candice had helped the Motor City Machine Guns win this match. She did it by socking Frazier in the face as he come up to the rope. Whereas Shelley did notice and was kind of just looking at Candice, just looking back, and I'm like, yeah, am I getting a vibe of some sexual tension between them, or like some kind of angle, some hook up, some link up, maybe with her as their team? Maybe she's going to drop Johnny and offer to manage Motor City Machine Guns. Maybe that's going to galvanize Johnny in some way. I'm getting to fear Johnny Gargano just seeing Scott Driver. He's like, I'm kind of sensually with him. If that's the case, I don't really know why we're doing this. Who knows? I mean, it's at least it's something for them to do. They're on TV again. These teams, like fuck them. Motor Machine Guns just weren't seen for a long, long time. They brought them back in, and they're probably like, "Oh yeah, we're back on. What are we doing, boys? Oh, we're going to throw you for a bunch of other people from catering. We're going to put you in a big, huge match against the MFC." Christ, they're probably like, "Yeah, just send me back to catering, man." I was eating my ice cream with Charlotte, and I'm like, leave me there. Fuck this. SmackDown has a lot of problems, but I think the things improved this week in general. The tag division is finally free. The titles are no longer being held hostage. And heel Randy Orton is just fantastic, especially the way they're doing it. So Mark, I promise I'm not just trying to get to this figure because it feels like every time I'm kind of done, I look down and it's the same outfit. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else left to cover there, guys. Yeah, overall, it was mixed week, but better quality than last week. I think the best segment I've seen in a long time, that Oba one. Chef's kiss, as I said, it was absolutely spectacular. Brock Lesnar, especially, really played his part well. Um, the rest of the week didn't get close to that, but I thought all three shows had the moments. They had good things. NXT's main event I really liked, especially the ending with Blake Tatum. And SmackDown, the best part was Kit Wilson Jelly. Well, the Mania season heats up this week. We're approaching the end of March now. Stand and Deliver is on the 4th of April. Mania was at the 18th or 19th. I think Roman is there every week now on Brock on Raw. So, it's got that added appeal. I'm just hoping that in the next week we start getting some more matches announced. Oba and Brock has been announced for Mania. That was the only match announced this week. So right now, what are we looking at? We're looking at Liv and Vaquer is one. Rhea Jade, Punk Roman, Cody Randy, Oba Brock. Is that it? It's just 5 matches? The 4 World Championship matches and this. Is there another one in this? I don't think another one's been announced. So then you're going to look at ones. I'll try and rate the next ones that most likely to happen. I think the El Grande Americano match will happen on Mania. That's 6. AJ and Becky surely is going to happen on Mania. There's 7. Women's tag, I think will happen on Mania because you have to get Charlotte in the call. There's 8. Tiffany was also heavily in promotion and marketing. So I think she's going to have a match, probably with Julia, etc. Kiana, Julia, Chelsea, whatever. There's 9. Oh, Dom and Finn, for sure. That will happen. There's 10. Seth and whoever the fuck, be it Braun or some combo with Vision, maybe you could throw LA in there. There's 11. The Usos will have something to do. So there's probably going to be some big tag match there. 12. Penta should have a match. 13. And then maybe there's one more, a Jelly Roll. Is that what we're looking at? That leaves Mello off the card. What's Gunther doing? I heard rumors that maybe looking at 16 matches, 8 per night, which, I'll believe that when I see it, man. WWE loves the fucking. What the fuck was that? Well, some of them fucked them. It was like an insect. Maybe there's a spider around there. Where are you, bro? I found a life I was looking for. Nice. They love their full match cards. Of course, they're on like the B level stuff. Last year at Mania, they did 6 each night. Bro, I really just don't know how they get a lot of. Obviously, people are going to have to miss out on the card. It happens. But so many of the matches, I feel like they could have shuffled things a bit differently and got more people on the card. Oh, Drew Fatu, I forgot to list that one. I forgot to even talk about them this week. Well, we'll do that very quickly before I go. They brawled throughout the show, of course. Right from the start, it looked like it'd been a car crash. Drew had T-boned Fatu's car. And this looked great. Shelly Rolls arrived at the arena. It was a very open shoot when, the show all the superstars come in. And then Jelly Rolls, the last one to arrive. Then the all security rush past them. Cameras follow. And I'm thinking here and there. I was like, oh, Cody's probably going to attack them as called tour bus again. Are they going to do this again? And, Randy's coming out of it. Oh. But no. Drew basically smashed Fatu's windshield. You could see his arm was kind of his hand was bloody afterwards. And he's holding the mic. He's still in the ring. He drags Fatu out. beats the shit out of him, gets dragged off by security, fucking disappears. Joe Tess and Wade are talking away. Then Drew comes over, voice overpowers him. He's holding the mic. He walks down to the ring, starts talking shit. Fatu and Mitch just came back from the beating. Rolls with Drew, gets the better of him this time. He just kind of like fucking flings him into the steel steps. Throughout the show, then they were being constantly separated and then just brawling. After that MFT segment backstage where Solo's fuming up and losing the tag championships, it gets interrupted by Drew and Fatu just hailing out of nowhere and brawling. There was another part where they were brawling, I think, just seen backstage. And then right at the end, right at the very end, when Randy had pulmonized Cardona and he's kind of been led away, the camera's cut back. What the fuck is that? There's definitely some insect, nothing about. Fly keeps flying into me. Dicker. Yeah. You get bro, I don't know if it was stood on it. It looked like a water tanker or something. There's like a balcony on the outside of it. It's about 3 meters up, maybe. Like 10, 12 feet. There's a big ass fence between. There's clearly like a trash map better. But the way they present it as kayfabe, these two basically felt it. They're brawling on the edge of it right at the end of the show, and then Drew kind of gets hit, goes to fall off, and it just drags. Yeah, talk about Blake Monroe dragging St. Paxley to hell. Drew McIntyre did this with Fatu this week. I think he went up there. Because he falls off and he just like, oh, just pulled them with him. And they both fell to their death. End credits. GG. All this is obviously like, yeah, get a medic and all this, oh shit, blah, blah, blah. This brawling this week, it's nothing new. It's wrestling trope. It's nothing really intelligent or progressive in story ways, but sometimes it's needed. You just want to add extra heat to the match. I think the way they did it, I think it was fine. It's great. Did it throughout the show. I think the reason to do it is that this match needs a stipulation. It needs something. I think we're gonna. The only question now is what. I think it'd be a cage match or a Hell in a Cell match or a street fight or something like that. You need something. Ladder match? Nah. I think the women's tag match is probably going to be a ladder match, if anything. What else could you do? No, I think it's fine. I would make it Hell in a Cell. We saw Drew McIntyre deliver big time with CM Punk inside Hell in a Cell a couple of years ago. No reason to suggest he couldn't do it again. And afterwards, Drew is disappearing to film Highlander, I think. So you could write him off some way there. You could get extra brutal in that match, and it would make sense. Maybe Fatu beats him, but just like beats him bad, and like then Drew can disappear, come back, and you can resurrect that later on in the year. Like Drew comes back, he's like, "Oh fuck you! You took me out. I'm gonna go after you again." How about these two? They're both intense. Samoa and Scott, tough people, both of them. So I think it deserves a big, big stipulation match. So I can't believe I forgot about that. It was one of the major parts of the show. And the show technically began and ended with McIntyre Fatu. Yeah, WWE as a whole this week, I'll give it a plus sign. I still think it needs to speed up this Mania build. I'm still not entirely sold on it as Mania season yet, but we're getting there. And my only hope is that we just do start getting these matches added. If we can get 8 matches a night, then fucking great. I'm still gonna expect they'll do 6 each night again because TKO just like that. But who knows, man? I don't know. They did 7-match show at Evolution, so they're not fully allergic to it. And even 7 each night would be 14 across Mania. That's fine. But I just listed off about 15, 16 different matches then that could happen. I think I forgot Io Raquel as well, which looks like something happening. Like, how the fuck are they going to get all these matches on? Some big women are going to miss out on the show, I think, who were involved in the media marketing campaign. That's crazy. Like, I can see Charlotte and Tiffany getting on the show, and Becky, all of them, Also, Rhea and Jade are already on there. Liv's on there. What are the Usos doing? The Mania? They're going to have a battle royale for everyone who you couldn't find a story. Maybe they'll just be ringside for Roman's match, basically. As like his henchman. I can't imagine they wouldn't have the Usos wrestle Mania. LA Knight, Gunther. There's so many people right now. I do not know where we go with them. Did I even list Sammy and Trick before? When I was talking about prospective Mania match? I don't know. We'll get more answers in the following week, guys. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Let's hope the shows continue to answer some of these stories. That's the main takeaway from this week. Triple H, stop giving us so many questions. Maybe it's coming up soon. The only question we really should be asking ourselves now is who's going to win this match? Not, I wonder what matches will happen. Time to build your card. Run out of time.